All right, and welcome to another show here. Stay tuned with Troy and Howie, and we have another special guest on board, Mary Kutter, and that's Mary Kutter with a K, Kutter, and we just got done listening to one of her singles, Mississippi Votes Blue. What a fun song that was. How you doing, Mary?
So much. Thanks for having me too.
Oh, no problem. Man, when you first came on board before we started recording, I'm like, man, this girl is upbeat. I want her energy.
Yeah. How many monsters did you drink before you came on?
Yeah, right?
Oh man, it's like shots of caffeine, I guess. I don't know. This is literally, y'all, it's kind of cringe whenever I wake up. I am.
No, you're not.
It's like, good morning, world. Here we are.
You have to record yourself waking up then. If that's the case, you need to record that's a TikTok waiting to happen, Mary.
You know, that could be kind of fun. I don't know if the world's ready, but I guess it depends on the time they're watching it. You know what I mean? Maybe if they're not watching it early, they'll be okay with it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, in case you haven't heard her voice, as you can tell, she is definitely from the South, from Kentucky, but currently living in Nashville, Tennessee, where most of our friends are, Troy.
I was just going to say, I don't know that we've ever talked to anybody from Nashville, have we? Or
yeah, maybe a few hundred or so, but yeah, no, that's awesome, and you're definitely a music. Boy, I can't speak today. A country music artist
and songwriter.
And a songwriter, and by the way, I was looking at your website. You have a lot of explaining to do here because you were on some hit movies and TV shows or TV series, I should say.
Which is MaryKutter.com.
Really cool.
Which is MaryKutter.com. Let me throw that out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
so
definitely.
organized, Troy. I see you, King. I mean, you know, it's so crazy. Something I've seen, especially in the last year, is, I mean, you really don't know what a song can do. And you know, with all the different, TV shows and commercials and all this stuff that, some of my music has found its home in, hey, y'all, I didn't know whenever I was writing those songs with my buddies that's the life it would have, but it's pretty cool. Not mad about it.
What are some of the movies and shows it appeared on? Because I didn't get to that part on your website, so I apologize. So why don't you just tell me?
Well, I think that one of the most coolest things was I wrote a song called "Move It," and it was in the U.S. Postal Service commercial, which is very on the nose. We did not write it for that, but it found its way there. We were on the Netflix movie "Look Both Ways," which was #1 on Netflix for over a week, which was really cool. Man, it's been a handful of TV shows, different songs. I'm totally blanking. I know there's
Catfish.
Netflix. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was on. Yeah, I have had music on MTV with the Catfish show. I know there's been some Hulu stuff, Amazon stuff, HBO stuff, and it's just one of those things. Of course, for the most part, I'm writing country music and pop music, but sync music, which is for TV and film and commercials, it's kind of just a different world. And to be real with y'all, I didn't know much about it. I was just writing songs, and some of my friends that I was writing with, they do make a lot of their moolah from that industry. And I mean, honestly, I feel like a lucky girl to have been in those rights. We wrote some good ones.
When that happens, were those songs that you performed or just ones that you wrote?
Those with the sync places were just ones I wrote on. So, honestly, I didn't even, obviously we all know there's music in TV shows and movies, but I never thought about that. Whenever I'm watching a movie, but now I do. Now whenever I see a commercial, I'm like, that was 15-second placement. Oh, and it was the credits at the movie. That's better than the blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's kind of a different way of looking at stuff now. I won't say it's ruined movies, but it has changed the way I view movies now.
Oh, yeah.
Now you just need to get one of them Super Bowl slots, right?
Oh, man, Manifest Honey. That would be incredible. That would be very cool. I think a car commercial would be really cool. Yep. I think a Target commercial would be really cool. But, it's just, you never know. I love writing music. I love creating.
Yeah.
And it is just another realm that music is to have a life.
It's cool to get reimbursed and payment for something that you love doing, right?
That's very nice too. And you know where I come from the sticks in Kentucky.
Okay.
And where all the bourbon's made, actually,
What part?
my neck of the woods, where all the horses and bourbon runs free, I guess you could say, right in the middle part of the state. But where I grew up, most people, you know, they'll graduate high school and they work on the line at the factory, or they're farmers. And
Yeah.
obviously, I respect the heck out of anyone that does that or any job like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about it sometimes. You know, I just was riding down the street on Music Row, and it hit me whenever I walked in. I rode at Big Loud, which is where Morgan Wallen is signed to.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, I was sitting down in the riding room, and around me, because Florida Georgia Line, they broke through Big Loud.
Okay.
There's a bunch of other people too. I mean, Big Loud's so respected here in town.
Sure.
And I was just looking at the walls and all these gold records, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is my life. And I can't believe I get to get paid writing songs. It's like, I feel like sometimes I get to be a little kid with finger paint every day and say, what are we going to create today, guys? And so I feel really, really, really grateful.
Yeah. Now, with you obviously being a very talented writer and gifted singer, if you had to pick one or the other, what is the one that you prefer the most?
Oh my Lord. Well, you know, I feel like it's like Chinese food and Mexican food. You know what I'm saying? I really do love them both. And that's not a cop-out. Now, I will say,
yes, it is.
I will say that so far in my career, if you see them in two different buckets, the bucket writing has more water in it currently.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? With, you know, some of the cuts I've been blessed to have and like these little placements. But they're two separate things. You know, I was talking to my mom, this was a couple months ago, because she asked me, and this was right when I was signing my publishing deal, which for any folks in the audience that don't know how that works, a publishing deal is when you get paid to write music. And that's different than a record deal. A record deal is the recordings. Okay.
Right.
And she was like, well, Mary, do you like writing better than singing? Because I started out with singing. And I was like, honestly, they're two separate things. They're just two separate things. But I think no matter what, I think creating is really what I love. Whether that's a unique recording or it's writing or even, you know, I mean, I love to do like paint and sewing and all that stuff. I'm not very good at it, but I think it's just creating that I love.
Some sort of outlet to get your whatever's going on in your mind out at that time, right?
Yes, you just nailed that. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if I nailed it. I was
it's basically
the word's pretty bad there. But
the bunny energy, getting it out in some creative out way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So when did this all kind of start for you? At what age did you kind of say, like, I want to get into music? Did you have like a parent or something that was into it, or what happened?
Well, you know, I mean, both of my parents are really talented, but they had, you know, normal jobs. My mom was a teacher, and my dad started his own business years later in the automotive world. Anyway, and so they were both very talented, but they never pursued it, and it never crossed my mind that it was really a thing. Now, I did start singing in church, though, and at school functions, and then I'd get invited to sing at a fair festival or you know, different special events. And before I knew it, just like anything else, y'all know how this works. I'd be singing somewhere that the organizer for the fall festival would be there and ask me to sing at the fall festival. I'd sing at the fall festival and say, oh, you need to sing at such and such, you know. And really where my story started off, and I really am excited to tell you guys this because you all slayed in radio before slaying this show now. So I was singing at different festivals at this point, okay? And I didn't totally know what that looked like career-wise or anything. I was still in school, the whole shebang. And I met this guy from right outside of Louisville, Kentucky, who owned a couple radio stations and a TV station. And we met backstage at something I was singing at, talked for a couple minutes, went on our way, and I kept on running into him. He would be, you know, either, you know, hosting the events or covering the events with the station. I'd be singing at it. And long story short, he ended up reaching out and he asked me if I wanted to host a music variety show, a weekly show on his stations. And it would be mainly like local talent, up and coming artists on radio tour, as well as hit riders.
Yep.
And that decision and that opportunity, to be honest, that changed the trajectory of my entire life. I started doing that show, and I booked all the talent, and I saw very quickly that it was easier to get a hit rider that maybe had 10 number ones than an artist that was on the radio with hits. As y'all know, know what's up. And anyway, and this was right outside of Louisville, Kentucky, close to where I grew up. And anyway, once again, the abridged story, I had a handful of bigger riders that were on the show, and one in particular, he had, gosh, I don't even know how many number ones. He's passed away now. His name is Kim Williams. He wrote a bunch of Garth Brooks. You
don't know him. Don't know him, but we've heard stories from him. Like I think Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Phenomenal person. Phenomenal.
I was going to say, in fact, isn't that how Taylor got started?
I believe it is.
It might have been.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Kim was truly just a phenomenal writer, talent, but phenomenal person. And I remember he was on the show.
Backstage or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Man, I need to talk to Taylor about.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
But anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just thought that was interesting because you said that name, and I'm like, I know that name, and then it was
That makes me really, really happy because that was the type of person Kim was. And I remember we did the show, and afterwards he asked me if I wrote songs, and I mean, y'all, I'd written some songs in the bedroom, like all of us do in high school.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? That was the shit, you know? And he's like, well, play me something. And I beat around on the guitar. I'm sure it was so bad, y'all. But for whatever reason, he literally pulled out a piece of paper and his phone and wrote down 9 writers and their phone numbers and said, you call them and tell them that Kim Williams said that they need to either write with you, do your show, or get coffee with you. Wow. And so I called all 9 of those people. Now, little Mary up in Kentucky didn't realize all the people I was really hitting up. I mean, looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe he did that. I was so kind of him. And 8 of the 9 did one of those things. And just like with the shows, singing, I started making trips back and forth to Nashville. And, you know, you get in one writing room and with Billy, Bob, and Sally. And Sally's like, oh, my God, you have to write with Becky. Then you write with Becky. Then Becky's like, oh, have you written with Jim? You need to write with Jim. Then you're with Jim. And it literally got to the point where I was coming down here 2 to 4 times a week. And so at that point, I ended up making the move. And that's kind of how it happened for me. And I guess everyone's story is different. And I'm sure y'all have heard just about every story under the sun. You know, but I mean,
yours is kind of similar to the ones that we've heard in a way, you know, like just kind of traveling back and forth and like, okay, this isn't worth it anymore. Let's just stay here. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So, I mean, Diamond Dixie, that was another one, right? They just moved maybe about 2 years ago.
Yeah, they moved from Orlando to Nashville. A girl that's from our area,
Olivia Faribault.
Yeah, Olivia Faribault is now in Nashville. She's another one that's up and coming, and a lot of the same stories, and some of it comes down to you willing to take that chance and leave not necessarily leave family behind, but leave everything that you've built where you're from in Kentucky. Right. Where it is, and then take that chance. And I mean, did you move to Nashville by yourself and you lived on your own down there, or what?
No. And honestly, you know, I feel really blessed that, you know, obviously a lot of people do that and they slay it. But I've been with the same guy since high school. And we're hitched. Yeah. And it was actually Matthew. That's his name. I was going back and forth. And one day I got home and he was like, Mary, what are you doing? Like, you have so much potential. You need to make the move. And so we did. And, you know, I feel so lucky to have a partner that's really, really, really supportive of my dreams. And
plus, I was going to say, and plus he needs to retire. You know, he wants you to basically support him, right?
But, a lot of people don't have that, and not just in the music industry, but any industry, you know. I think, you know, to have a partner and also be that partner that's supportive of dreams, I think it's a pretty special thing, you know.
Well, Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like he probably already kind of had his roots there in Kentucky or whatever, wherever you were from, and like that had to be a pretty big step for him to want to move with you too, and then not knowing what he's gonna be able to get into to help support you.
Right.
You know.
1000%. And I think, we come from the same neck of the woods. I mean, we met when we were 5 years old.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
And
God.
my family farm and his family farm's literally right down the street from it. Like literally, like could walk there. And anyway, and I think it's just one of those things that, we dream together and we chase them down together. And I think he's one of those, whenever y'all are down in Nashville, you'll have to meet him. He's just a little genius. But yeah, I'm lucky.
What's he doing with himself now? What's his line of work?
He does business. He's an accountant, and
Okay.
he definitely has been, kind of a partner in crime and all the things that I've been able to do down here. And that's from like literally, scrolling on TikTok, be like, hey, you need to check out so and so, this artist. They're going to be huge. Then lo and behold, they get a record deal a month later. Like his A&R ear is very boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
So it's very special. And, we also write together. Actually, Mississippi Votes Blue, he wrote on that. That was just me. So, yeah, very well-rounded genius. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Accountant
Sounds like
one
you got a good
during the day and songwriter at night, right?
I know, right? All the things.
So let's go. MaryKutter.com. All the social medias is Mary Kutter. Go there, find all that fun stuff. All your music is on all the streaming sites. You got Spotify and Amazon Music, iTunes.
All the things.
All the things, all there. So let's get in. Howie, you were excited here, and I'm going to transition over to you here a second. You were excited to hear about our TikTok game here, right? So
yeah, right.
You got over 100,000 followers on TikTok. When did you decide you wanted to jump into this game?
Me and y'all, I was a little bit late to the party. I remember right when the COVID lockdown happened, I immediately started doing a lot of the rides via Zoom. And there's a feller who I've been buddies with for years, since literally the week before he moved to town. His name is Cooper Allen. Now he has 7-something million on TikTok. He's huge on it. Well, I remember we were riding and he was like, Mary, you've got to get on TikTok. And the same thing happened again with Nate Smith, who also has over 1 million. I don't know how many he has. And there was a handful of other artists that I was riding for and riding with and had cuts with that they were all like, get on TikTok. So I got on TikTok finally. And it's been just such a cool thing because we write songs and we don't know what's going to resonate with people. But I mean, I've been really lucky, as an artist as well as a writer for other artists too. I mean, gosh, with my own artistry stuff, I've had several go viral, and as a writer, over a dozen for sure. And it's just been really cool to see, because this is the thing, y'all. There are no barriers on TikTok. Folks either like it or they don't like it. There's no person that's like, no thanks. There's no gatekeeper. It's literally,
I was going to say, there's no critics. Yeah.
Yes. And, it's been really awesome too, seeing songs that pop off and seeing how they translate into streams. That's super cool. And, I mean, literally everything I've released so far has been purely, the marketing has been TikTok, which is
right.
Really cool.
I was just going to say, you now have that following, and it's just going to keep snowballing and getting gradually bigger, or in some cases a lot bigger. Early on, Troy and I interviewed a guy who basically made it big because of TikTok, more so because his girlfriend decided to secretly record him singing. And I don't know if you've heard of Brandon Davis.
Oh, I've heard great things. We have so many mutual friends.
Oh, okay. I mean, the guy just got done last summer opening up for Tim McGraw.
I went to go see him play because Alexandra Kay, who's also huge on TikTok, I had a couple songs she was playing on that tour.
Yeah.
Great. So good.
I mean,
Bailey Zimmerman too, or something like that, I think.
Bailey Zimmerman, I have huge on it.
I mean, it's crazy. So you're definitely going the right route there with the TikTok, and as well as 100,000 followers, and you're getting these millions of streams. What was the other one I saw you? Oh, over 100 million streams your songs have accomplished. Now, My mentality is probably not as much about the songs and the artists, but much more about like the business side of things. And obviously, I'm not telling you to share your bank account with me unless you want to. But
Or so your account number.
yeah, at least your account number. But I'm always interested in like for someone who has had a 100 million streams in this day and age. Does that equal into making a living money, or do you have to do a lot more than that?
I mean, so the breakdown of streams now for 1 million streams, and now that number, we're over 100 mil now, but I can't tell you exactly what it is. I think we're around 150, 200 million now.
Wow.
That's just happened like the last month or so. That's why that's not accurate. Just because we've had a couple songs pop off again. But anyway, the typical breakdown is 1 million streams is 5K for the master ownership, so the recording. But then the writing side is 1,200. So way smaller than the master side. So now if you own part of the master, that's cool. You know, if you don't, then no. So, I mean, I've definitely, been blessed with, streams that keep on growing.
Sure.
TBH though, the song placements and film and TV, that's made just as much, if not more, than the streaming up to this point. Now, where I guess the big moolah, life-changing, let's buy a Lamborghini money comes in is more so when you go to radio and get that number one, or a huge placement, obviously. But, I mean, I'm doing all right,
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
driving my little Honda to my right. It's nothing fancy, but it fills up the tank,
Yeah, that's right. And it's Nashville. You don't need a Lambo in downtown Nashville, right?
No, I guess not, but I will say, y'all can't see my shoe game right now, but they're bright neon pink with the pink ensemble. I really would love enough moolah to really have like a little walk-in shoe closet. You know what I'm saying? With like the beautiful boots, since we all have our vices, shoes happen to be mine. So anyway, I'm definitely working towards that, not quite
all
there,
right.
but we're working towards.
So forget the fancy car. It's all about making sure you have money to pay for shoes.
I mean, it's wherever we want to invest our money in,
Who needs a car when you can walk, right?
That's right.
That's true, especially some sparkly, beautiful boots. Oh,
so yeah, as we're looking at Mary Kutter here on the screen, she's wearing a pink trucker hat, wearing a pink shirt, and I'm assuming you're wearing pink shorts or something. Is that?
They're neon pink bell bottoms.
Oh my gosh!
And then I have pink shoes that are neon pink. Let me tell you what, y'all. When I was walking into my sessions today, nobody missed me. It's a good thing I didn't commit any crimes, because I think it would have been caught for sure.
Yes, you would have.
I want to jump back to, you were talking about the streams on digital platforms and such. And what do you know exactly? And I think I've asked this to some of our artists in the past before, and I don't know that I've ever gotten a straight answer for this. So hopefully you know. What exactly constitutes a stream? How long does it have to be played to be considered a stream?
Don't quote me, because I could be wrong. I've heard like 15 seconds to 20 seconds, but that may not be right. But it may actually, that may not be right at all. It could be a percentage of how much is streamed of. Because I do know that, like, for an intro, sometimes like Bailey, for example, on his EP that dropped a couple months ago, that intro track was not considered a stream. So however long that was, needs to be that length or shorter for sure. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's longer than 15 seconds. It might be longer than 15 seconds. I might be telling you wrong. But I think it's, it's not the whole song though, necessarily.
So every time that intro plays, it never gets considered a stream for him. That's
what I've heard. I mean, I haven't talked to him directly about that, but I was talking to someone about that. This was like months ago.
Interesting.
But they had but the thing is, it's like, it was just like an intro of him talking. So I don't think they want to have that number necessarily behind it. But I could be wrong. All that could be incorrect.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're currently doing everything that you love. You're playing music, you're writing music, you're singing. all these things that you're doing that you're really enjoying, like, when the dust finally settles, what is it that you truly want to be doing, like that you want to be recognized for and doing for the rest of your life?
I really, really respect Ryan Tedder, Hardy, and there's a handful of others too that they really have, honestly, just trailblazed a lane for themselves where they equally are hit top songwriters and hit top artists. A lot of times, maybe they're a hit artist and they have a couple random cuts that no one's heard of.
Sure.
Or they're a huge writer that could never break as an artist. I really want to do both. And one of my goals is to have 2 songs in the top 10 on the radio charts, one I'm just a writer on and one I'm an artist on.
Oh, awesome.
So that's what I'm working towards. And
sounds like a good goal to me.
Well, I'm working hard, and I feel like, doors will open, doors will close. But I think that, I'm really trying to enjoy the ride,
Mm-hmm.
This is a really interesting business, though, as y'all know.
Yeah.
There's things, can be like this, then change for the better so quickly. Like, oh, my gosh. Like, I've now seen a handful of friends that, I was riding with along the way and still am, where, we were just buddies riding in our living rooms, and now they're literally in arenas, or stadiums in some of their cases, which is just crazy, and I think, what really makes things change from what I have seen, which may not be correct, I do realize that, but from what I've seen, it starts with a hit song. Because that gets the business stuff, that gets the fans, it gets all these things, and you keep on working hard and you get another hit song. Yep. Then boom, you got a career, baby, So that's what I'm trying to focus on.
And I think from talking to you earlier before we started recording, it seems like you're taking the method that a lot of the current artists are taking, where you're just kind of trying to put something out there every other week, every couple weeks, something like that, just to keep something fresh, new, and keep your name going. Is that kind of, am I right with that assumption?
1,000%. Because this is the thing. I do have a publishing deal, so, I have a team with my writing, but currently I'm a free agent. Whatever I want to do as an artist, I can do. Because I do know that, like, a lot of my buddies that have record label deals, they don't have that luxury to release a lot of music, and which is, they have lots of other luxuries. So it's still wonderful to have a label deal, in my opinion. But at this point, I'm just looking to grow. We're 100 and whatever on TikTok, and then the Spotify and all those things are growing. But folks want to listen to music, and I write a lot. Like tomorrow, I counted up my sessions. I'm gonna hit number 200. And it'll be May 30th, 31st, whatever the day is tomorrow. 200 sessions, 200 songs rather, this year that I've written.
Wow.
So I write a lot, and not everyone's wired that way. That's just the way I roll. And that being said, songs don't do any good just sitting on the shelf on a hard drive, and not every song is going to be a life-changing hit. I do recognize that. But, you look at like Dolly Parton, my gosh, how many songs does she have out? A lot. Because I did like a little deep dive a couple months ago, like, wow, Lordy, she's a lot more than Jolene, and I Will Always Love You. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which, side note, I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but she wrote both of those songs the same day.
Oh, no way.
The same day.
Oh, my gosh.
Same day.
I would have just hung it up after that.
That was a good day. She drank some good coffee. But you don't know what's going to happen. Truly. But the thing is, she's released so much music. She's someone I really admire as well. And she's really a prime example too. We always think about the iconic Dolly, like the persona, but huge writer. The only reason we talk about the artistry stuff really is because that's been the long-term stitch. But I don't know. That's where my dog is at with the dust settling.
Okay.
I don't, my dog is just thinking, right. Let's create something that, people resonate with.
Yeah. And when you said, Dolly Parton, I also look at her too as an amazing self-promoter. So, think about her doing what she did before the social media craze and getting her name out there, so, obviously you have social media to, utilize and put out there with TikTok and all the other things that you have going on. What are some other ways? Because let's face it, when you're talking about, the song Move It, how does the U.S. Postal Service say, I want this song, and how do they how do they even notice that song to even come in front of their, ways of putting it out there?
I feel like, in that world, there's lots of different ways. I feel like, to be totally real, I don't know the total story of how they got it. I think it was one of my co-writers, someone on her team must have passed along. I don't know how it happened. I literally got the call about that placement. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm in. But anyway, just different ways though. But there's all different ways to get your music out there for sure. I mean, I agree with you. Social media is definitely top of the list, at least on the artistry side.
And it's free.
Yeah, because it's free, and I would say that it's one of the most effective too. There's a buddy of mine who I remember he was at 50,000 followers, and we were talking about writing. We hadn't written it yet, but we were literally messaging back and forth about setting a date. And that night, after we had locked in a date, by the way, he posted a video that got 20 million views.
Oh my
Well,
God.
that 20 million view post, now he has 300 and something thousand, and now he's opening for huge people. So it's just like one post changed his life, and that was a free post. Wow. One post. Now he worked hard. Insane. It's not like just, it is a slot, like playing slots, lottery thing to a degree, but
sure.
At the end of the day, how freaking cool is that? I don't know if there's a marketing budget realistically, at least for an independent artist, to get that exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there is, I don't know. But I feel like that'd be a lot of, dinero getting thrown out,
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So I want to go back and touch on something you mentioned when you were talking about Dolly. First of all, when can we see Cutterwood? When will that be happening?
Or Maryland, however you want to call it.
Maryland.
I think that was already taken.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. It is kind of like, it might be kind of confusing. You know what? I think that something that's so cool about her, and we were talking about the dust settling, she has had so many things that she's done. She's been in movies. She's been in musicals. She's
TV show.
Yes. And obviously music has her own freaking theme park. The queen does not rest. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's something that's really cool. But I guess I would say that probably she took that first thing to launch off of, and then she just kept on growing and dreaming big. And I think that's really special.
My second question as that, that was kind of just a joke, obviously, but I thought it was just great. I loved your response there, Maryland. That's awesome. Who obviously Dolly was a big inspiration for you. Who are there some other inspirations that you really looked up to when you were getting your foot in the door?
Absolutely. I am so inspired by J-Lo. I think her work ethic and
I never would have guessed that one coming out of your mouth.
It's so crazy, y'all. On my little Spotify on repeat, several of her songs are at the very top. I really do love her music. Beyonce's discipline and hard work. It's just like, it's like laser focus, y'all. And I don't know how much y'all, are into football, but I think, this isn't a musical, whatever, but Tom Brady is someone else that I really, and it really has nothing to do with sports, actually. It's just, once again, like his level.
His ethic.
Yes. The work ethic is like another level. And, that's something that this past year, I've always worked hard. My parents really distilled that in my brother and me to the max.
Yeah.
But
now, Mary, I'm going to ask Troy real quick. What do you think of Tom Brady? He's a Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh, Lord.
I think
interview is over.
I think he kicked our ass for about 25 years. But other than that, no. There's really no denying he's the greatest quarterback ever played the game. At this point, Mr. Mahomes is kind of working his way up there already, though, isn't he? My gosh. But yeah, he's amazing. His work ethic, his drive, his determination, everything like you were just saying, it really is.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It really is.
I think it's really, really, really inspiring.
Yeah.
And
he even cheated better than everybody else. It was amazing.
You gotta hand it to the man. Well, this is something kind of interesting that kind of hit me. At Easter, I was sitting at the end of the table with my cousins, and my cousin just got married to this dude from up north, actually. I want to say he's from Massachusetts. But anyway, we started talking about Tom Brady. And, of course, I started going on and on about his work ethic, about his discipline, doing all like, oh, it's incredible, that whole thing. Well, Teddy says, and this is something that it's going to sound so simple, but it's really stuck with me. he said, well, Mary, he's doing what everyone knows to do, like his diet, the training. He's just doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, because
Yeah.
it's not like this is like 1959.
Yeah, it's not groundbreaking. Yeah, it's not like earth-shattering news breaking, headline news that this is what you got to do to be great at something. It's just, you got to actually do it. Right?
Well, yeah, it's like bodybuilders. We all three of us know what it takes to be a bodybuilder, but how many of us actually do the routine and the program and the lifting and all that stuff?
Yes.
It's not something that, it's not something you're willed to do all the time, and Tom Brady is definitely that specimen when it comes to that kind of stuff, for sure.
That is really interesting. I don't know. I just think that's fascinating. But all three of those people really do inspire.
Oh yeah, and then J-Lo, she's in her 50s now, and I mean, she's in amazing shape. Oh. She still can perform. I mean, I wouldn't put her on the top echelon of talented singers, but the type of person that she can, like the way she markets herself and the way that she stays in shape, because she does a lot of choreography when it comes to her stage work. And yeah, she's amazing. So yeah, I can see.
I just watched. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I kind of agree with you there. All those people that you mentioned, that work ethic is really key.
Yeah.
Well, it was
the J-Lo
really
thing. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It was really interesting. I watched this movie that she just dropped on whatever stream. I have them all. One of the streaming platforms the other day. It's the Mother movie. I don't know if y'all have watched it or not.
I haven't.
No.
Do not eat ice cream while you try to watch. It's a little bit violent, but it was
really
good. Yes. But I thought to myself, this is so cool that J-Lo took off the hat of being stunning, sexy woman and just like honestly was. I mean, it was like Tomb Raider energy of like on like crazy boom, boom, boom. But she played that role so well as well. And I thought to myself when I was watching, I was like, man, this woman, she just has no limits that she puts on. So anyway.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you mentioned like J-Lo, Beyonce, and obviously, Dolly and all those other singers. When it comes to writing music, are you writing for all genres or are you just writing for the country scene?
All genres. And now all my sessions though, I'm very lasered in. We know what we're writing for before we walk in the room. And that keeps it super clean. Are we writing for Mary Kutter artist today? Are we writing for Billy Bob who's looking to cut his new record with Sony? Are we writing for TV radio or TV film today? And that keeps, of course, like, you don't always have to stay in that bucket, but it does help,
Sure.
Pop, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, most definitely.
This is just really funny to me because this is so eerily similar to the conversation we had with Taylor. Like, I mean, you say you do personally know Taylor, or I mean, like, I just can't imagine you two not working together. This is crazy. Like, you guys seem so similar. It's
well, it's a small town, but there still hasn't been enough time to work with everyone. I guess you know. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like probably. Even being in this business, if you were in the business for like 20 years, there's still going to be people you haven't met. I guarantee it, because it's still, it's a very small town, but it's still a huge industry at the same time. But it's kind of crazy. It's a very small world.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? Maybe that's what we should plan on, Troy, is to go down to Nashville for our 4th anniversary show. Because yes, I mean, we have so many people that we know down there. I think it's about time we could probably open up our own venue, rent our own venue, and have all the folks that we've had on from Nashville.
Cool.
Wouldn't it be
so cool?
I was going to say we might have enough friends down there that would be able to sleep on some couches and stuff. So
yeah, right. Yeah, how big is your couch down there, Mary?
I mean, I feel like one of y'all could fit. Get the air mattress up,
Okay, fair enough.
Before we get into your song that you're going to be releasing here really soon, that we're going to get to hear, and another question I wanted to ask you, and as far as your performing side of things go, have you had the chance to open up for anybody of any big names out there at this point, or are you hoping to? Is there somebody you'd love to open up for?
Oh man, there's a lot of people I'd love to open up for. Gosh, I mean, mainly I was just playing on different festivals with like big bills. I didn't go out on the road with anyone like on tour though.
Okay.
Not yet. Manifesting that happening. But man, honey bun, there are so many. I mean, literally, I think this is such a cool era right now in the music scene. Not just within country, obviously, but also even like there's even been like tours where it's crossing over like different
Yep.
genres. And I
Yep.
feel like, just
Mhm.
one of those things that it's going to be really cool once I hit the road and start playing more shows. And this whole season, of course, COVID kind of happened. That changed everything up.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, it was really writing whenever I moved. And then COVID happened. And then it was like, hey, I should do this social media thing and build this. And that's, what I've been working on.
Mhm.
I am very ready to hit the road soon, though.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool.
That's a really cool point you brought up there, and I agree that there's so many, not just people that are touring together that you wouldn't really think would tour together, but even the artists themselves are blended at this point, right? Like, you brought up Morgan Wallen earlier, like somebody like him, or the guy that Jelly Roll. Look at Jelly Roll right now. Like, I mean, that guy started off country rap, and now he's like kind of even in the rock game a little bit. Like, I mean, it's just crazy where all these people are going right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about Taylor Swift. I mean, she's probably the most famous one, really, that kind of did that, from country, or even Miley Cyrus.
Yep.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's just no boxes unless you want to be in a specific box, which, some artists, that's what they want to do, and that's totally Gucci, but it is really, really interesting. And I would guess my hypothesis of our show would be that with TikTok and social media, I would guess that that's going to continue even more.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
I think so.
on your FYP, you might have a Jelly Roll song, but then have a Lainey Wilson song, and then have a Justin Bieber song. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
so
it's kind of cool.
That sounds like my playlist.
We see you.
No, I mean, honestly, like, I listen to all kinds of different music of all different genres, so it really does sound like something that would be on my playlist, and it would probably drive my family crazy.
And I'll be honest, Mary, before we started doing this podcast, I really did not listen to a lick of country music. And since starting, since coming on board and doing this and chatting with all these country artists and people like yourself, I mean, your personality alone makes me want to listen to you. Seriously. And then not only that, but I have listened to some of your songs, and you have an amazing voice. You have an amazing talent for writing as well as singing. And it's just really cool, to be able to talk to someone like you who is that passionate about their music that, and you can just tell. I mean, Troy and I have said this ever since we've started that, man, you can just tell the people who are truly passionate with their art. And
that means a lot to me, Keith.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And I mean, it's like I said earlier. I mean, there's a lot of worse things we could be doing with our time. We literally get to create music. I mean, it's so cool. So anyway, I appreciate your kind words, though. Thank you very much.
Sure, not a problem.
Okay, so again, we're talking to Mary Kutter, and you can go to marykutter.com. All her socials are linked on there. If you want to look them up separately, just look up Mary Kutter on whatever social you're on. All the streaming music sites, it's all there. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, all that fun stuff. Here we go. So let's get into this one. Whole Town Knows. This is going to be dropping June 16th. So this show, you're going to get a sneak peek of this song right here. Tell us a little bit about this song. What went into this writing process?
Oh, man. Okay, so I was jamming to some Fall Out Boy. I was on a run, and I was like, man, you know what? They really needed country music. We need to do like a little fusion of like, what if Fall Out Boy was country? And I know that's a really weird juxtaposition, but I went into the writing room that Monday morning or Tuesday morning, whenever it was, and I sat down with my buddies, and I said, y'all, I've been jamming nonstop to, y'all know the song Centuries, and my songs Know What You Did in the Dark.
Yep.
And they were like, okay, where's this going? And I was like, what would happen if we made this, if we wrote it almost like a rock song? Pretend we're literally in a stadium, crazy lights show, and then, we bring it back to Countryland. Let's go too far. There's no boundaries, no boxes. And so we did. And we wrote the song. I was like, I'm obsessed with this, like every song, after every session. I'm always so excited. Like, best song ever. Well, fast forward, I was like, man, is this a bad idea to be doing something so rock country, or is it a good idea? I don't know. Well, I wrote another song just a couple days later, and it's called Ghost. And it was kind of like, honestly, like if Avril Lavigne went country. Once again, very rock country thing. Well, I got the demo back for Ghost. I hadn't gotten the demo back for Hometown Knows. Okay. Well, I thought, well, what the heck? Let's post it on the TikTok and see what happens. So I post Ghost on TikTok. It goes viral. I'm like, whoa, this is cool. And what was even cooler than, it racking up views or whatever, which is really cool, it was seeing all the people that made videos using the song. I was like, whoa, this is really, really special. Well, I ended up dropping Ghost. It's done real good. And I was like, man, let's hit the studio and see what happens with Hometown Knows. And the song is a tried and true country breakup song. It's literally like, the whole town is about to know about you. It's like really a very country-esque story. Yeah. But musically, it has a lot of rock elements. And I had so much fun recording this song because I don't know about y'all, but I love me some Alice Cooper.
Sure.
And literally, when I was in the studio, I told my producer, Sam, I said, Sam, what can we do to once again go too far? We could always hit the mute button. What can we do? What would Alice Cooper have done if this was his song? And Sam was like, get on the mic. Let's go too far. And we just had a blast. And I'm really, really pumped for this song to be out in the world. And it's just kind of cool how you never know. Once again, we said it earlier, how songs be created and, what they blossom into and also what folks gravitate towards. So that's Hometown Knows.
That's awesome. So we're going to get a chance to hear this. Before we do, I got to mention this, and I've said it to Hallie before too, but one of my favorite quotes ever came from Alice Cooper, and it was, they asking about how he gets paid for his performing and stuff like that. And he's like, listen, I don't get paid to perform. I love doing that. I get paid for the other 23 hours of the day.
Wow, that's really special.
So,
man, y'all, he's someone I really want to meet. My dad and I, we went to 2 Alice Cooper concerts thus far. Then COVID hit. We were making it like a yearly tradition. Then COVID hit. But anyway, y'all, wow.
What a kick-ass guitar player, Nita Strauss, right? Oh my God.
So talented. So talented.
Yeah.
And it's just, talk about an entertainer. And, we could talk about his songs for days, thoughts and theories and all that. Yeah. But I will say, very creative. He put himself in no box, and it's really been cool. Yep. And I have a couple buddies here in town who have worked with Alice, and they literally only said great things about him, which is kind of cool too. Like on a personal level, he's supposed to be a great guy. But anyway, kind of neat.
Yeah, you need to get the word out to him about how you want this to be an Alice Cooper gone country.
Oh, man, can y'all imagine like a feature? I think, I feel like my parents would finally feel like I made it. They're like, the little girl done it. She did it.
What needs to happen is to have one of those videos, those duet videos were on TikTok where he's like, do this, and then him reacting
cool.
to
That's such a good idea, Troy. I'm looking into that. That's a genius idea.
There you go.
Alice, if you're listening to this podcast, you're getting ready to hear Hometown Knows by Mary Kutter. I'm sure it's going to be out there on TikTok, little clips of it here and there, or whatever. So let's hope we see an Alice Cooper video reaction to your song here. So, with that being said, Howie, let's take a listen to Mary Kutter, Hometown Knows.
All right, here it is. All right, before you go, Mary, can you give us a quick bumper, like, hey, this is Mary Kutter. You're listening to Stay Tuned with Troy and Howie, something along those lines, and definitely keep it perky because I love that. I love that personality about you.
Absolutely. And let me make sure I'm not messing up the name of your all show. Stay tuned with Troy and Howie. Right? Boom.
Yep.
All right. Boom. Shakalaka. All right. This is Mary Kutter, and you are, was it watching or listening?
Listening.
Listening. Thank you. That makes more sense. This is Mary Kutter, and you are listening to Stay Tuned with Howie and Troy. Oh, it's Troy and Howie. I messed that up, didn't I? Wow. Okay.
You're not the only one to do that,
the
though.
Lord be like, I'm going to humble you now, Mary. Your head's getting too big. It's not fitting in the hat no more. Man, stay tuned.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but hey, go on.
Let's do it right. Let's do it right. Sorry that y'all have to keep on hearing me do it. Stay tuned. Stay tuned with Troy and Howie, right?
Correct. Do you see, I don't know if you guys have it on the screen, but above the video, is there a logo?
Yeah, I see it above your picture, Howie, yeah.
Oh, boom, I see you. All right, let me try it again. We'll get it right. Third time's a charm. This is Mary Kutter, and you are listening to Stay Tuned with Troy and Howie.
Perfect.
Boom! We just did it.
And you know what? Howie's probably going to use the other one on purpose.
Keep everyone on their toes, you know.
That's right.
So they're like, hello, I think she said it wrong.
He just likes hearing his name first.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds great both ways. Not gonna lie, it's one of those things like some couples they always sound better, one over the other.
Yeah.
Or partners
Like Jim and
or whatever,
Nancy.
Like
Like it's not
sounds
Nancy
good
and
both
Jim.
ways.
It's Jim and Nancy.